Can you defeat Terraria with spawn rates turned off? Hello? Hello? Is anyone there? I'm all alone here. With absolutely no mobs in the world, nothing can stop me from chopping down these trees, and you might be thinking that this will be the easiest way to play Terraria ever. Oh, you sweet summer child, you don't know what lies ahead. But that's for future us to worry about. Now we have small problems, like not being able to craft torches with the absence of mobs spawning, and getting 25 silver so the merchant can, appear, will take up a little longer without enemies dropping money. And simple things, such as finding new weapons, is a bit less exciting. I don't know why I'm bothering collecting slightly better weaponry when I don't need it. Like, these are going to be meaningless. All that really matters is preparing for bosses, so we'll grab life crystals and search for extra mobility accessories and gold chests. Not this one though. It's not a big deal to just kind of roam around and try to get, oh, there are 0 enemies. 0 enemies and I still managed to die. Now, some of the default equipment people will often go for is no longer available. Can't get the blade of grass. I can't get jungle armor. A lot of the jungle stuff I can't get anymore.
It was at this moment that Thorbin made the single biggest mistake he could have made this entire run.
Why? Well, that's for future Thorbin to find out, because right now we can take advantage of the single biggest positive thing of having 0 spawns. All right, time to see if the Dungeon Guardian won't spawn. Got a nice easy gold key here. As it would turn out, the Dungeon Guardian does not spawn, meaning we can raid the dungeon right from the start of the game. But of course, without spawns, we have very limited golden keys. This is where we run into the big question though. Do we open the first chest we see, because it's probably a cobalt shield, and risk having our only gold coin be used on a cobalt shield? I think I want to open this one. Cobalt shield, but we got a shadow key. That is so important. Those were some good finds, but I want to, at the very least, also get the ram rune. But can I still get one? Well, most dungeons have 2 wooden chests with golden keys inside. Those are the 2 guaranteed ones, but there is also a chance that these pots will drop golden keys as well. Well, that's too bad. We haven't gotten any keys from any of the pots broken thus far. Oh, a gold key. Heck yeah. All right, we got one. There it is. Found it. Okay, guys, what do you think? Should we open these 2 chests? Okay. We got a handgun. That will be very nice. Magic missile and the ram rune. The significance of the ram rune is twofold. For one, it can give fall immunity, which brings me to the second point, that I can't get the goblin tinkerer when spawn rates are off. So having an accessory that does more than offer fall immunity, like the lucky horseshoe, makes it a huge find. Plus, with limited mobility options, it could give me a niche strategy that I've learned against the mech bosses in particular. Found another handgun before heading out of the dungeon and search for Sky Island loot. There isn't much we really need from it, but if we luck into fledgling wings, we could be really well set up, and even if not, the shiny red balloon is nice. Did we find either of these? No, only the horseshoe. There is nothing going on in the skybox. There are no stars. Oh, this is freaky. They're all on the right side. Oh, this is really weird. Why is it so black? We have a handgun, but we need bullets, so let's get the arms dealer and a few others to move in with these extra houses. Wait, Charlie the Merchant, hold up. Life form analyzer. Let's buy the life form analyzer. You could have sold so many other things, Mr. Traveling Merchant. So many other things. Underground, we find an unlikely friend. Yeah, I guess we found life in the form of a sentient rock. Wait, hold on. Does this mean this is just Project Hail Mary now? Let's get moving now. We'll grab more life crystals in this glowing mushroom biome. We're looking for statues, primarily the ones for useful mobs like slimes, unicorns, and goblin scouts. Some of those might be useless and others might be useful. I just know having statues to summon mobs could potentially save us a lot of headache. We're just not having any luck with them. We got a blood moon. Oh no, guys. Oh no, not the spawn rates. Not the blood moon. Oh no! We can totally start fishing though. Instead of that, we're going to head into the desert where there are enemies we can encounter. With how easy it will be to explore the biome though, there's no reason not to grab a dig toys to mine the elevator for us, and we'll collect some extra loot while we're at it. What we did, remember that shadow orb I broke? Well, I have more than 200 health now. Oh. Well, there's a goblin army. Oh no. Oh, please tell me that they'll actually spawn or we can have a problem here. If the goblin army is able to arrive, but no goblins spawn, they could very well prevent other bosses from spawning naturally. We're not soft locked. That's what I thought. But it won't be until later that I realize the catastrophic problem these goblins will present. Because even if the army progress bar thing has not appeared, the goblin army has still arrived, meaning that NPCs are no longer able to spawn. What is this going to mean for me? It means I have literally only one attempt against the wall. It means the Witch Doctor and Steampunker will never spawn and sell me the only wings I could obtain aside from fledgling wings. All bound NPCs will never appear, although they might have never appeared anyway, so no Goblin Tinkerer, Wizard, Mechanic, Tavern Keep, Golfer, Angler, or Stylist. For the rest of the run, I will only have these 5 NPCs with the guy dying to get into hard mode, and if any of them die at any point, they are lost forever. The Goblin Army poses 2 other potential issues. It's possible they'll prevent the mech bosses from spawning naturally, and also possible they'll prevent the cultists from spawning. I have an idea for how to possibly remove the goblin threats, but I can't do it now, so back to our progressing. We find a working slime statue, but since the mechanic is no longer on the table, we will have to leave it here to farm with it later, and somehow we already have another blood moon. And you know what? We might as well take advantage of this. Literally nothing is standing in my way to farm these enemies for the vampire frog staff. Blood rainbow, not bad, not bad. Hey, Vampire Frog Staff! With that and the acquisition of a cloud in a bottle, we're more than suited to start taking down bosses. The eyes have pushed over at this point using, dungeon weapons, and although I could probably take down the Eater of Worlds, there are only so many Shadow Orbs in the world, so to ensure our victory, we're going to grab a Sun Fury. Of course, we grabbed all the other Shadow loot as well, and found enough Meteorite in them for a full armor set. As we bully the Eater of Worlds, I want to explain something that you should do differently from me if you want to try this run. Never destroy a Shadow Orb. It'll save all kinds of headache with the goblins preventing NPCs from spawning. All you need to do is defeat the wall without mining Hellstone, and once you enter hard mode, you can destroy Hellstone with bombs to mine the hard mode ores and be on your merry way. This is completely unnecessary, but because I wasn't thinking, I now have a much more difficult road ahead of me. This challenge will begin primarily in hard mode, although bosses like Skeletron are a lot more difficult with severely less mobility. Beating this boss obviously is not necessary, but I'm going to challenge myself to beat every boss I possibly can this run, and one boss that would have been impossible to beat in 1.4 with 0 spawn rates is Deer Claws, but now in 1.5, Deer Things have a chance of appearing in frozen chests, allowing us to defeat the single most useful boss in all of Terraria. We'll take the Chester. No, we can't get rid of Gord the Boulder. This just leaves Queen Bee. Oh, didn't mean that to summon her. Woo! Nice and easy like. Now, since I found a slime statue, I can fight King Slime, but I'll worry about him another time in hard mode where I'll have some experiments with him. Before the wall, we'll find the Shimmer, which is where I'm already dreaming up of ways to make mechanical boss summons in the event the Goblin Army does prevent them from spawning naturally. The main crafting items I'm worried about are things like lenses that can be acquired by shimmering extra deer things and suspicious looking eyes. Rotten chunks can be obtained from battle potions, but you don't get a 100% return rate from potions, so it's very hit or miss. For bones, we can shimmer gothic brick furniture from the dungeon and pianos found elsewhere in the world. We'll make our arena, and if you don't know, we can summon the wall by simply moving the guide into a house in the underworld and then drop him into lava. Just remember, we only have one shot at this. I didn't check what arrows I have. Oh no, please help me. I'm feeling really nervous now. I should have thought about this a bit more. At least I'm not taking hardly any damage. Think we're gonna do fine. Easy does it. And there we go. Okay, we got into hard mode. We didn't soft lock ourselves. Breaking demon altars, we encounter one of the only enemies that will be able to spawn in this world, and it's super weird fighting them after seeing nothing for so long. I forgot what it's like to play Terraria with enemies. Obviously, we're going to get busy with mining the hard mode ores, but the beginning of hard mode is the part of the game we need to really appreciate this challenge for what it is. Think about it. In pre-hard mode, almost all weapons and accessories come from treasure chests, with a few handy ones dropped by bosses as well. But in hard mode, the vast majority of useful items are locked behind mob drops in one way or another. The only weapons we can potentially get are the ones obtained from the hard mode ores, which are limited to mediocre melee ones and half-decent ranger ones, or from fishing, which contains niche, but not the most useful of options. As we mine though, we get a message that might just save this run. Vibrate. Oh, the very first night of hard mode, we get the Destroyer. That will help tremendously, but there are possibly ways we could still make the summons using the shimmering I mentioned earlier. And then the one other useful thing fishing in hard mode can do for us. Defiled and Divine crates have a 50% chance of dropping 2 Souls of Light or Night respectively. This means it's possible to make all the mech summons, with the Mechanical Worm being particularly difficult to craft without getting great luck on Battle Push and Shimmering. We can also get a Corruptor statue though, it'll just take a while. Now one weapon we can get that I didn't mention earlier is the Flint, which isn't the best weapon in the world against the mechs, but could be our ticket against the Destroyer. And with a little shimmer forging, we get a better forge on the thing. From there we spent a lot of time fishing, but didn't get a single defiled crate. So with fishing threatening to take forever, I've decided to be smarter to search for ulterior methods of obtaining Souls of Light and Night. That's why I'm farming slimes. It's time to finally fight King Slime. I know it might not work anymore. I feel like I remember hearing about that. I'm going to just assume the tales of it not working were greatly exaggerated. There was once a time that spawning King Slime in the underworld and killing the slimes he summoned was an easy way to get Souls of Light and Night. I forget what version that was a viable strategy in, but I'm fairly sure it was removed since 1.4.4. I even tried taking King Slime down in the underground hollow proper, but still had no luck. Convinced that without that strategy working, I'd never be able to collect souls in any other way other than fishing, I began hunting for a fiberglass fishing pole. Of course, that got us nowhere, but there are other methods that chat thought of while we searched. The first is farming those antlion larvae in the desert. After all, they are one of the only enemies we can fight naturally, and the desert just so happens to be hollowed. Antlion eggs do respawn, but I'm not sure they'll respawn on the hollowed sand, so this might be a limited resource, but even a jumpstart would be huge. They drop Souls of Light! Let's go! Genius! Genius, chat! We can farm these guys. I don't know how much we'll get, but we'll get something. So far, we're having not a lot of luck with Souls of Light. They're not dropping souls anymore. We got one. There are loads of larva eggs down here, but it sure feels like the odds of them dropping souls are lower than normal. When all was said and done, I killed some 50 or so larvae and got about 9 souls of light. Not awful, but not great either. Oh, Mechanical Worm. Oh. I didn't even think about them dropping the boss summons themselves. That boss summon is great and all, but the mechs are still spawning naturally, or so I thought. As would turn out, that Mechanical Worm is going to be far more valuable than I thought it would be, because as I built the arena in preparation for the battle, I watched as the moon continued moving farther and farther through the sky, only to reach the end where I had no choice but to come to the conclusion they might not spawn. Oh, we do have to manually summon them. Shoot. Good thing we already were doing some prep for just such an occasion. We may have gotten some souls from the larva already in the desert, but that only goes so far. We need better and more renewable sources of souls, not only for mechanical boss summons, but also so I can get enough to summon a biomimic for some of their potentially game-changing drops. The next strategy is to use the new spider boulder introduced in 1.4.5. These things cost a whole spider's nest worth of cobwebs apiece, but spawn a spider at the end of the game, making them a potentially renewable way of farming souls. This is also a good way to get more cobwebs. Look at them go! They basically renew themselves. Oh, what? Oh, whoa, oh, whoa. No luck on the first spider, but then came the second. Soul of Night! Oh, the boulders actually work, no way! It is expensive, but it works. And apparently, well, it looks like he's making like another 100 cobweb each time, or close to it. A mechanical eye? Dude, what are these drops? More spooters, please. We have 2 mech summons already, and with 7 spider boulders, we walk away with 4 souls a night, which gives me all the souls I need to craft a mechanical skull. But I still want those biomimics. I could farm for more cobwebs to make more spider boulders, but each of them costs 200 cobwebs. If we drop the boulder rather than containing it in a box, we can get nearly all 200 cobwebs back, and if we dropped it straight down, I'm sure we could get even more. But this doesn't feel like the best method we could be using, and sure sure enough, we'll find even better ways to get souls. The first one requires that I die a bunch for an ectomist. Once we have a graveyard, we can craft larva eggs with sandstone and antlion mandibles that the other larva had dropped. You can then place these eggs anywhere you want, such as the corruption, where they have a chance of dropping souls, but also more mandibles to craft more of the eggs with. Yes! Oh, this works great! Only problem is antlion mandibles are not that plentiful. We got 2 souls from 25, and that might be just about all that we can do. I guess we can go back to the desert, find more, maybe get some souls that way. Get some more mandibles that way. With mining potions being the only thing that you can shimmer for mandibles, this strategy may give us a lot of enemies we can farm fast, but will ultimately be more limited, and periodically we will need to return to the desert to find more of these guys for more mandibles, which, if we keep some section of the desert pure, could be a limitless resource, but will eventually be very slow going. Are there other things that we can be farming here? There is one more idea we have, and it involves the shimmer. First step is to place enough or spread enough of the hollow and corruption for there to be a biome. Once we have that, we can summon King Slime again, but this time we don't kill the blue slimes, but allow them to jump into the shimmer where they become shimmer slimes. They do drop souls! Oh, we found the workaround! Oh my goodness, that actually works? It's not completely free because King Slime only spawns slimes when you do certain amounts of damage to him or something like that, so I can't just let King Slime live and have him spawn infinite slimes. I do in fact need to fight and defeat him over and over, while being very careful of where and when I kill the slimes. But the yield and renewability can't be argued. That's enough to get 1 hollowed mimic. Alright, hollowed mimic, drop what I want or I'll be very mad. Flying knife. I forgot that was a thing. Huh. You know, it's not awful. The Daedalus Stormbow would have been preferred, but as it is, I want more drops from the corrupt mimics, and I haven't actually spread nearly enough of the corruption to get souls at night. So once that was done, we could spawn King Slime, and which souls we get depends on which side of the shimmer we stand on. It was strangely a bit more difficult to get souls at night than lights, but by leading the slimes away to where I know the corruption is, we can get much better drops. And by doing this repeatedly, we can get all kinds of souls. Not enough to use them recklessly though. Rubies are renewable, sure, but once we run out, it'll become obnoxious farming for those. So hopefully we get some of the drops we want from these mimics. All right, well, first try. Yes, thank you. And it's minus 15% damage. That figures. That gets us pretty set for the mechs. We'll just do a little fishing for life force and more endurance potions. Without a destroyer shredder, I'm confident in. I'm thinking I'll try taking down the twins first, since that's one other mech summon that drop naturally, and lenses are the mech summon material we have the most of. But without accessory upgrades and no wings, how do I plan on taking down the twins? Well, with a 3-part strategy: gravity potions, featherfall potions, and the ram rune. Grav and Featherfall alone do wonders against the first phase of this boss. However, the Ram Rune helps out tons in second phase and the first phase as well, allowing me to benefit from Featherfall's slow fall, but by pressing the down key, I gain the immense vertical speed boost of the Ram Rune, both upwards and downwards, making second phase spaz a breeze to dodge. It would also help quite a bit with second phase retinator, but I only brought 1 grab potion, and with my limited gear, the battle took so long that it ran out, resulting in our first failure against the mechs, something I cannot allow to happen again. We're definitely ready though. We just need to bring another gravitation potion in the second battle, so we'll farm some more souls in the meantime and see if we can luck into the Stormbow or another helpful weapon. Hook, of course it's the hook. Okay, let's try this again and hope for the best. One main problem with this whole strategy is Sky Islands can get in the way a lot. Second phase, any moment now. There it is. Okay. Woo, that was close. Die, die, die. How are you not dead? Okay, no, stupid, stinking, random, stinking, stupid lasers. You're getting hit at least a little bit less. Still far from perfect, but better. Ah! Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. And finally, we got our first mech down. Too bad we can't make like anything from its drops. I could try Destroyer for the rest of this night. This is a really dumb decision. I don't want to try to take advantage of all the buffs I have enabled right now. Very good. That did real good damage against the main coil. Now it's just a matter of everything else. We can take a few hits. We can do a lot more damage. Too bad I don't have a stopwatch, so I don't actually know the time. Don't get hit by the head. Okay. Yes, all right! 2 mechanical bosses, and we're well on our way to completing this run. But I only have 20 bones and need 30 to make the mechanical skull, which is remedied simply enough by grabbing a little more gothic furniture from the dungeon, which will shimmer down into bones, but we only have enough for a single summon. There are more ways to get bones, but it's actually one of the more limited resources. So before we fight this thing, we're going to want a stronger weapon such as the Mega Shark, which we can obtain by shimmering a boatload of water walking and hunter potions or shark fins. And of course, we'll go for a better reforge on the thing. With that, the hollow repeater, and plenty of potions, we take down Prime, using a chill-up mount I'd found earlier during the tail end of the battle because I forgot to bring 2 gravitation potions once again. Stupid treasure bags dropped so few bars I couldn't even make full armor and the pickaxe, but what I can make is the flamethrower, and then I realized I actually just need to sacrifice my hollow repeater to make the last piece for the armor. Before heading to the jungle though, I realized I haven't actually fought Queen Slime yet. Her mount could have led to some other mobility strategies against the mechs, and the blade staff might have helped, but that's fine. She's one of the easiest bosses to spawn, even with 0 spawn rates. Now I throw a platinum into an oasis for the Herosis set, which I thought was a really big brain strategy for a second because it gives you materials to make wings, but I totally forgot I still need souls of flight for the crafting recipe. From there, we have a very peaceful task of mining chlorophyte with life fruit simply refusing to appear, but a bulb popping up after some searching. With a suitable arena, Plantera isn't the biggest threat in the world, but I'm not sure how grab potions and featherfall will do against this boss with or without the ram rune. So I ended up making the arena with a lot more layers so I could jump between the sections with Chill It. Maybe just go back and forth here and dodge in between them will work a little bit better for me. Okay, we got this, we got this. Come on. Ooh, good job, Chill It. Oh, Chill It, man. Let's go. All right. The jungle temple is eerily empty, and the lack of mobs really makes it tempting to just blitz through this thing in no time flat, but that makes you prone to stepping on traps. Wait a minute, we got a developer set. I just realized that. Hold up. Let's go. We'll wear your dev set just in honor of you giving me these wings. Once hard mode begins, these have a 1 in 16 chance of dropping from hard mode bosses, all except Queen Slime, for some reason. And in my situation, it was literally the only way I could get wings, which combined with Featherfall and other potions made Golem a very easy fight. Just a longer one with our weaker weapon options. This brings me to the point of the game where the Goblin Invasion being a phantom spawn killer becomes a true problem in that the cultists won't spawn until after the threat has been handled. So that's where my run would end. However, let's pretend you didn't make the mistake I did and didn't break Shadow Orbs because they ultimately don't drop you anything that would actually be helpful or necessary for this run. What would you do? Well, you would fight cultists just like normal. Since truffle worms and lacewings can't spawn, you won't be able to get any gear from either of those bosses for the battle. After that, the Vortex Pillar spawns enemies even without spawn rates turned on, and so does the Stardust Pillar. Meanwhile, the other 2 pillars will never spawn a single enemy, and thus you will never be able to reach Moonlord without any spawn rates. Or could you? Now, this is pure speculation, but I think it's possible. If you were to get the cultists to arrive and then start reaching the mob cap using statues or critters, what you could potentially do is spawn cultist and carefully defeat him while still at the mob cap. And if you successfully pull that off, then once cultist dies, the pillars will not be able to spawn and thus will disappear, causing Moonlord to spawn instantaneously. From there, you would have the grueling task of beating him with no pillar, empress, or duke weapons, but it could be possible. If you're wondering how you would reach that mob cap, what I assume you would need to do is capture as much bait as possible, like grubbies, worms, or even failings, and place them in a box near the battle arena. What you need to do is make sure you don't go too far away from them so they don't despawn, while also making sure that the cultist Stardust attack never hits them, because it will in fact kill all the worms and grubbies and stuff. Same goes for the dragon. I tried some experimenting, but just was never able to actually get it to work, so maybe it is impossible. But maybe someone out there who's really smart with this sort of thing will be able to reach the mob cap and maintain it even after defeating the cultist, causing the pillars to despawn immediately and Moonlord to spawn. Experimental runs like this are super fun, and if you want to see another time I tried experimenting with what you can do in Terraria, you should check out this video, where I show you how you could potentially beat Terraria without ever leaving the dungeon.